What is up, everybody? This is your boy GMillion, and tonight we have Ravens, Dolphin, and Home Alone. Say hi, hi, hi.
This is
Hey
bullshit.
everybody.
So, in today's video, we are going to react to Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves, and he has it, uh, way better than you expected. DSP Reacts review. Yes, we know your name is DSP Reacts, and we know it's a review. All right. At least it's better than the last title.
He couldn't make a PNG for his logo. How lazy.
He can't make anything.
No.
He has zero background in art, so he doesn't know what's good.
Yeah, he just had. Well, I don't know if the guy's still making his thumbnail.
He probably is. He's asking for a new round of pictures, so who knows?
Okay, well, we got done watching Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. What'd you guys think of the movie before we get started?
Not bad.
It was
7 out
fine.
of 10. I only saw the last half though, to be fair.
It
Yeah,
was.
that is true.
I mean, it was kind of hard to follow at times because they try to fit a narrative in there. He'll get into it and ruin it, but it was fine. A lot of references to Dungeons and Dragons that you would know and love.
Yes.
It didn't take itself too seriously, which is good because a lot of them take themselves too seriously. This one was a lot more lighthearted, which helped a lot. But I felt like it was too hard to follow.
Yeah, you kind
What?
of had to pay attention and kind of be in the Dungeons and Dragons lore a little bit to follow it. But I think this movie is really good just watching once, and a second watch through doesn't make it really that great because I wasn't too into it the second time watching it.
It ties up very nicely at the end. That's all I'm gonna say.
It does not sequel bait at all, so that's
No.
pretty good.
So yeah, I would give it around that, a 7 or
Yeah,
thumbs in the middle.
So the main cast, the main character, Chris Pines, and then you have Michelle Rodriguez. Those two, I think, really stole the show. Especially Chris Pines. He was really funny in this role.
Yes.
Michelle is just there for the muscle, and Chris Pine's character is the bard. Because you got to have strong women in movies now, and the guy's just there.
Michelle Rodriguez is always an awesome secondary character for a warrior in these movies.
Yeah. But she did really good in this movie. I did not recognize her at all in the trailers, but until I actually saw the movie and they were doing like a little show before the movie, and I realized it was her. So I'm like, oh shit. All right, you ready to get into this?
I am ready, Freddy.
Since he put the stupid intro in here, we have to watch it.
Oh dear God, this is so basic, bitch.
What's with the coldness of it? I know he cold.
He just chose the fall animation #1.
Wow, he
reacts
looks.
and welcome to my
terrible.
review of Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among
Turn it
Thieves,
up.
the recent movie
I did turn it
that
up.
came out a couple months ago.
It takes his
and it's a
entire
pretty
soul to act
interesting
this interested.
fantasy, comedy,
There we go.
epic.
All right,
Should be.
I'm not even sure how to describe the movie
Go.
because
Thank you.
it's a lot of things at once. To give you a little bit of
You
background,
can say that again.
first of all, when I went to see this movie, I actually knew nothing about it whatsoever.
Is he
I
shaking the camera?
Yeah, he was shaking the camera. What do you mean you went to go see this movie? Did you go see it in the movie theater a year later or what?
No, he means actually walk down and watch it on TV. I went to go see this movie and walked my fat ass on the couch.
I doubt he even watched it on the fucking TV.
He probably watched it
Heard
on his
from a few people
iPhone.
that it was good, but I didn't know who the cast was. I didn't know what it was.
Well, that's why you do the research, bitch.
Yeah.
Or what I like to do is not do any research, go in the movie surprise, then do my research.
There you go.
'Cause
That's fine too.
Yeah, because I like to be immersed and not know who the people playing the characters are.
Was about, and I'm not a fan of D&D. Like,
Well,
I've
that's
never
great.
played Dungeons and Dragons
I'm
before.
not either.
He can't
the
play
most I know
D&D
about
because it
D&D is
requires
that
friends.
I know that's kind of
And
a
thought.
Yeah.
top,
too.
rolling the die. Someone's a dungeon master who makes the scenario that people kind of role play in as they play it.
Pause.
And
He would be the dungeon master completely.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. Like, I have final say.
He would be there is no way DSP for every fucking thing of this. If he ever played D&D, he would be the fucking dungeon master,
Drunken wizard.
Yeah.
and he would break every rule.
And somehow he'll tie Street Fighter into it.
I guess 10 years ago, I lost my job at the helicopter factory.
Street Fighter.
2005, the year of our Lord, I took 4th place.
At Evo.
At Evo. Lord
All right.
Jin.
the only games I've ever played of D&D before were like back in the 90s. Like they had a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. I think it was called like Shadows of Mystara or something like
Yeah,
that.
the Cap
where
CPS2
you
game is
choose
good.
to be like the dwarf or the barbarian or a magician, and it was a
The
side-scrolling
barbarian.
beat-em-up action game similar to like Final Fight or Golden Axe. So outside of that,
Wait. Is he talking about the D&D Capcom game
Probably.
from the arcade? Like that? Yeah, that's a D&D game, but it's from the arcade.
It's just a CPS2 side-scroller clone. They just happened to use D&D for the theme that one time. It's like
That was
Cadillacs
it.
and Dinosaurs or Final Fight.
Yeah, but no one knows about Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. That was a movie of some game.
Yeah, the only really good D&D games out there is probably like Neverwinter Nights and like the Boulder Gate
Baldur's
series.
Gate. Yeah, that's it.
And 3, you could fuck a bear, you know?
I know it's gonna. Yeah,
I
people are
little no
excited about that.
exposure
What is that,
to
D&D Revenant?
So I went in here kind of blind, not knowing what to expect in this movie.
You're already blind.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you don't do your research on movies. And you want to go in and review them.
He watches on his phone. I think he mentioned he watches movies on his phone.
Yeah, he
And
did.
that's the worst screen.
Yeah,
and he wants to
says
make
he
fun of
watches
people.
movies on his phone.
God damn.
I was pleased to see that within the first like 10-15 minutes, the cast is an amazing ensemble cast of great actors and actresses from all across the spectrum. Like you got Chris Pine, who obviously you might have seen in movies.
He didn't
Hey,
know who
remember
was in it.
someone?
Yay, he remembers someone.
He's a wide
Yay.
variety of characters across the spectrum. He couldn't roll
What
off
kind of
his tongue.
spectrum are you talking about?
He means black.
Yep, he does. He means like wide representation.
Yeah,
He
you're right.
means they put 10 people in here. So yay!
That's not the face of a person excited for Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just saying.
No. I want to rewind it a little bit.
I like that still.
The one before it was so good.
Yeah, it's
He's
like,
like,
he was serving food. Like, hey guys, here's some toast.
"Here's some Dungeons and Dragons for you."
Yeah, here's some D&D themed oatmeal.
The cast is an amazing ensemble cast of great actors and actresses from all across the spectrum.
You hear his
Like,
voice cut?
you got Chris Pine, who obviously you might have seen in movies such as the Star Trek modern reboots. You've got Hugh Grant. I mean, this is a guy who I used to see in
He
movies
couldn't
in
name
the
another
90s,
Chris Pine movie
2000s,
besides Star
hasn't
Trek.
been around in a long time, and he's coming back to this really awesome role of like a scoundrel con man. First time I'd ever seen.
Yeah, of course you would like Hugh Grant because you played a character just like Phil.
Here's a question: how they get Hugh Grant? Was he like? Did they just approach him? Was he out of money? Like, how do you get?
They're like, we need an aloof douchebag.
That acts just like Phil.
Yeah, we need a Phil Burnell clone. We can't get Phil because the
How
money's
the
not.
hell did you get into this? You're a huge star. You were. How the
Imagine-
hell?
Imagine DSP's talent rep reaching out to him about a movie. He's like, you have to email me about the movie part.
Yeah, I don't take anything but email.
From S. Spielberg at something.
Wait. Okay, I was right. Love Actually, that was the movie I watched. He was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Like he's playing a fucking thief in this.
Real talk, not a bad movie.
Really good. He did a great job dancing in it.
And I think he did a good job being an asshole in this one.
Do what you do best in life, you know.
Yeah.
Hey man, it convinced his daughter. Oh wait, sorry, he'll talk about it.
Seen Justice Smith. He's one of the children of Will Smith. Act. I thought he was spot on great. So,
What?
That guy was Will Smith's kid?
Justice Smith? Why would he name his kid Justice?
I thought he had 2 kids.
I know
And his name
Jaden.
is Justice.
Yeah, and a sister. That's all I thought that were out there.
Justin Smith is Will Smith's son.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, there is Justice Smith
Let me look it up, see if he's telling the truth.
as Simone. As Simon, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely Will Smith's son. You can tell by looking at these pictures.
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, this is the story.
No way, his parents are Dula Satachi and Wayne Smith. Who the fuck is Wayne Smith? I take that back. His parents don't say anything about Will Smith. Wayne Smith is the guy's name. I shit you not. Here, I'm going to put the link.
Oh, I know. I'm
kid.
looking at the cast right now.
Holy fuck, he's absolutely wrong. His parents, just as his parents are just 2 citizens. Oh, what a fucking idiot. See, that's proof he didn't watch the fucking thing or do any research, G-Million. You were dead on.
Yeah,
he's
let's
one
watch
of
it again.
the children of Will Smith. Act.
Getting jiggy with Wayne Smith now, I guess. No. Man, I fucked it up.
Phil, not everyone named Smith is related to Will Smith. I'm sorry. It was
He's black. He's black. He can't tell. You know how he is.
Yeah.
He fits the criteria.
He's like, they all look alike in this movie.
Hold on, we got to watch that again.
And he's coming back to this really awesome
Okay,
role of like
I
a
think I wanted to
con man. First time I'd ever seen Justice Smith. He's one of the children of Will Smith. Act. I thought
Come on, Phil. You're like, okay, you got me. You almost trolled me. All right, but he does not sound like a Will Smith kid. All right.
For one, he had his shit together.
That's great.
No.
he was spot on great. So really good. Oh my! I got Michelle
I used to love
Rodriguez.
DJ
I haven't
Jazzy
seen
Jeff
her
and the Fresh
since
Wayne back in the
Resident
day.
Evil, the original. Like seriously, I haven't seen a movie with her in it since then. And to see her
And
come
Wayne
back,
had-
in a way like this,
And Wayne-
and do such a good performance for
He
her
was great in
is amazing.
'94.
So, what is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves? Well, it's a
What
movie
is it?
based on, I
Duh.
guess, certain campaigns and lore in the D&D universe, and it follows this ensemble cast of characters throughout the world in this kind of keeper environment. So Chris Pine is a bard. He used to run a ragtag group
All right,
that used to
you got
go
that
through
correct.
the world of D&D, pulling off heists and all kinds
He
of
read the
things.
IMDb summary.
Michelle Rodriguez was basically kind of like his, like a sister character, not really a sister, but kind of acts as a sister, and she's a barbarian. He had a magician here who was an elf magician who was kind of clumsy and not necessarily had the best magic.
Elf
Half the time he tries to do magic,
magician?
it doesn't necessarily work.
Comic
But that's
relief
kind of the running
DSP,
joke,
that's
is that
all
he's
you
kind of a
have to
magician in
say.
training, trying to get better. You had Hugh Grant, who was basically their con man. He would actually pretend and set up these scenarios and
Con
be kind
man.
of
He was the
confidence man.
leader
Everyone
of the
would believe
world.
him, and he'd make everyone think that they were who
He
they
was
said
the
they
king,
were,
yeah.
and then they weren't, and then they would pull
Con
off these big
man.
elaborate heists.
He was good
Well,
at that.
Oversimplify
one
it.
heist goes absolutely, positively, horribly wrong when basically Chris Pine and his group steal stuff for a red magician, but then Chris Pine cannot stop himself and control himself from stealing the loot that he sees when he's with the red magician. So
Hey,
basically,
DSP
what?
style.
to steal
What?
some of the magician, the magician
What?
turns
What?
on him.
Pause? What?
He didn't
What?
steal loot, did he?
What?
No,
What?
Phil. No.
He couldn't help himself.
No.
He couldn't help himself. He was horny for loot. Did
He
forget
worked
the
for
honor
some
part?
organization that's no questions asked. Then something happened. His wife dies. Then they started stealing stuff with Michelle Rodriguez, Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Then he got double crossed.
He forgot about the honor part.
Yeah,
Of course he did.
Of course he
Of
did.
course he did. Who needs
I
honor?
can't
He's
believe you
not
been
thought
honorable.
that was Will Smith's kid.
Arrested. and it basically kind of ruins his life. You know, there's a tragic backstory where his wife was murdered, and so therefore his child ends up going.
And people were saying mean and nasty things about his family.
Wait, you're skipping.
Yeah, come on, Phil, you're skipping.
He goes to prison. No, that's later, or not later, or whatever. That didn't happen yet.
Oh my god.
He's only gonna glom over the part where he raises her and to be her own thing, and then this happens. No, we're just gonna go straight to jail.
Collect $200. Don't collect $200.
Whatever. Fuck you, Phil.
And there's this big elaborate plot line of him basically breaking out of prison because he wants to go see his daughter again, along with Michelle Rodriguez, who's along for the ride with him. And eventually when they meet up with Hugh Grant, they find out that Hugh Grant's character, whose name is Forge in this movie, has again conned his way into being the whole ruler of like a country. That they believed him that he should be like the ruler of a country, even though he has no credentials, no qualifications. He fooled everyone, and basically became
He's
an
really
elected
charming,
official.
Phil, like something you would know.
Yeah.
And the plot goes through many twists.
He's
and
a
turns.
narcissist,
Before we get too
like
much
a certain
into that,
someone.
It's a funny movie. Like the writing is absolutely ingenious because some parts are
Ingenious,
super
I
serious.
think
It
that's
feels
a
like you're
little
watching
much.
like Lord of the Rings or a fantasy movie of that caliber. But then all of a sudden there'll be a
It's
bunch of
funny in
comedy
parts.
interjected
It's
into
not on
it.
caliber
That's
with Lord
funny
of
as
the
heck.
Rings.
Like for
That's an
example, at
epic.
one point in the movie, they're trying to get a mystical helmet. They're trying to find this helmet that's going to help them in their journey. Well, they don't know where it is, but they know that the people who were fighting in a certain battle
Do y'all
and
think he
died
actually
in the
watched it?
battlefield would know where it is.
He would have to watch it because this scene was in the movie, but it's also in the trailer too. So
Oh man.
He watched it. I think the way he reviews movies is just shit.
yeah, like he goes into full spoiler territory.
I think he's just reading some plot summaries, making this shit up.
No, I think he watches them. I don't know.
Uh,
Because I don't know if he reviews. I forget if he reviews the games the same way.
I guess this movie was released to theaters in both IMAX and iPhone 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watch it in IMAX.
Pretty dope.
So they use magic to start reviving these people in a graveyard, but the lore is that you have to ask them 5 questions, then they could go back to sleep forever. So they start asking them questions only to find out most of them don't know jack. It's a complete waste of their time, and it's funny as hell to hear their stories that are completely unrelated to what they're trying to figure out, or they get right to the point where you get the information you need about the helmet, and then, oops, I died suddenly, and I don't know what happened after that. So it's funny to see, like, you know, the bard get all frustrated. He just wants information. He can't get the information he wants. It's funny to see the reactions, and then there's a running joke that you have to ask the 5 questions, and they don't want to do it, but they have to do it so they can go back to sleep and stuff. So that's what I mean. Like, it could have been straightforward serious, like Lord of the Rings. But
Why?
it's not.
Why are you comparing Dungeons and Dragons to Lord of the Rings? You can make Dungeons and Dragons campaigns funny. Like in one of the games that I played, I killed a horde of zombies with zombies. All right.
You can make it whatever you want.
Exactly.
And this one was funny.
Has a lot of comedy, has a lot of that kind of writing that actually makes it fun and kind of hip without needless pop culture references. It has nothing like that. It's just lore and
It's
funny
D&D.
jokes in the context of what
What do
you're
you
seeing in the
expect,
movie.
Phil?
Now, basically, the premise of the movie is Chris Pine
It's
needs to get the
medieval
band
time.
back
What
together.
pop culture
he
would
needs to
it
get his
be?
group of ragtag, thieves back together in order to save the land. But really what his goal ultimately is to save his daughter, who's basically kind of been kidnapped, but she doesn't really realize that she has been.
No.
Because she doesn't really trust her dad after he...
What do
He
you
really
think?
just skipped the big part. He really just, it's all about the resurrect her mother, you idiot.
Yeah, that's the
You
biggest
really-
thing. That's the reason why they stole that thing in the first place and they got caught.
The whole point of the movie was to resurrect his wife, his mother, her mother.
And shit goes down, and pretty much now the rest of the movie they have to rescue the daughter and get the tablet of reawakening.
Yeah, which he lied about and said it was the tablet of a lot of treasure. What was it called?
Tablet of
Tablet
riches.
of money. Tablet of riches. Thank you. Fucking idiot.
basically failed her previously and went to jail. So it's a really interesting plot line. Wow. I don't want to give anything away because if I give too much
you
away,
just gave
plot,
half the movie away.
I'm sorry.
Not really
I'm sorry.
as much. But let me just tell you this: there's twists, there's
jail.
turns, there's big character development. Like some of these characters at the beginning of the movie are just kind of funny, but at the end they have serious plot lines. They've developed as seriously powerful people. And let me tell you, as funny as the movie is, some of these scenes are absolutely epic. There's scenes there that seem reminiscent of Lord of the Rings, but may even be like comedy parodies of the scenes from the movie.
How? What scenes, Phil? Because I didn't see anything like that. I just saw cheesy CGI and very budget.
Very budget. But not bad.
It gets the job done for what it is, but it's not something to write home about. It's not going to win any awards or anything. So.
Right.
The final fight of the movie is an epic battle where everyone like kind of comes into the play and using their abilities and things in a final like boss fight. It's really, really well done. And everything seems to have meaning. Nothing in the movie seems extra or boring or superfluous. Everything seems like it's leading towards something near the end. There's even like plot lines going on that you don't realize that actually tie into the end of the movie that are really, really neat. The weird part about this is I heard almost nothing about this movie. I don't know if it got much like promotion. I didn't hear anyone go.
That's bullshit. It got a lot of promotion. They were playing the trailer every time I went to go see the theater. They had private screenings, they had investor screenings. I got to see the fucking movie a week in advance type deal.
But you pay attention to what's going on in the world.
He's the one, yeah, you're right. He's the one that doesn't know anything. He doesn't watch TV. I don't know if there was TV commercials, but I'm pretty sure there was.
He's too bitter about everything. He
Yeah.
is literally media literate.
It may not have the biggest advertising budget, but it did have advertising budget. So
he has a negative knowledge of pop culture, especially now.
Yeah.
Well, especially now that his popularity is waning and actually in the toilet, he's becoming worse.
Go crazy about it, but man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is exactly the kind of movie that I like. Never was I bored. Never did I feel the pacing was bad. I mean, the movie's just under 2 hours long. Never once during the movie.
Another broad, generic comment about the movie.
Shit, Phil. The movie was 2 hours and 14 minutes long. Look it up. Do your research. Last time I checked, 2 hours and 14 minutes is over 2 hours. What do you think, guys? Am I wrong?
No,
Nope.
It's definitely over. It's 2 hours and a quarter.
The way numbers work, yeah.
Are you going to talk about the rating of the movie? Do you even know the rating of the movie?
Movie that I feel like it was dragging
Was it
on. I felt like it was
PG-13?
Yeah,
fast-paced and
PG-13.
interesting the
Okay.
entire movie. The characters getting developed over the course of the movie were super interesting.
I don't think he's watched
The
it.
comedy
at least
was
all of
well
it.
written and warranted. It never felt cheesy or hammy, but instead was witty and interesting. The kind of comedy that I like.
Go ahead.
I feel like he tries to review these like someone that never seen something. He's like, "Oh, this movie's witty and cheesy and all that stuff." And it's like, Phil, watching you talk about it does not make me want to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what you look for in a good movie. By the time the movie was over, I was like, I can't believe that this team has never made a movie before, and I can't believe I didn't hear more about it. This is the kind.
Because all you do is sit in your fucking office and play video games all day and tell your fucking wife to stay home and stare at a wall.
I beat the game, fail. Oh, okay, that's great. I'm gonna put the groceries away.
Yeah, you don't even go out with your wife. You don't go to the fucking movies. If you went to the fucking movies during the promotional time, you wouldn't know about this movie. All right? I've seen this fucking trailer so many damn times. It was just... Ugh. Fucking
Indeed.
idiot.
Indeed.
Kind of
he's an
movie that when it
idiot.
was done, I wanted more. I was hoping that there was 2-3 more movies to watch. Like imagine if you never watched the Lord of the Rings movie, you watched the first one, all of a sudden you love it. Now there's like a ton more to watch.
This is not
That's what I was
comparative
hoping.
to Lord of the
with this-
Rings. The only thing they have in
How do
common is
you-
fantasy.
How do you not watch the Lord of the Rings?
Man,
and only this.
I'm pretty sure he's seen Lord of the Rings.
I'm pretty sure everyone has seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I've seen Lord of the Rings. I have the 4K Ultra HD Extended Edition ones.
Yeah, that you have to be there for 5, literally for a whole half a day.
Yeah.
This movie when it ended, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, it's a brand new movie. Hopefully it did well enough that they'll make a sequel.
Probably not, because I don't think it was received that well. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Even though I liked the movie, I don't think it was received well enough to make it a sequel.
It was a little too disjointed for me.
It was so well done. I wish I could tell you more about the movie, but the plot is so good that I don't want to spoil it for you by telling you critical plot points. But I just assure you, the action is great, on par with big epics like Lord of the Rings.
Lies.
The action does not compare to Lord of the Ring action. You have full-on battles with orcs and humans, elves, dwarfs, and all that. Here, you just have a couple characters fighting here and there. You have a couple dragons fighting, You have one small epic battle, and that's just a flashback scene.
Yeah, it's mostly funny.
Yeah.
And most of it's just set up for the characters.
Yeah. So. Oh, this guy wants to make me strangle him.
Yeah, and
the
he
comedy
wonders.
Is great. The pacing is good, and I really like the character development. In fact, we all want to know one of the things I really liked about it. Practical effects. This movie employs a ton of practical special effects. It's not 100% CGI like a lot of movies have gone.
Sure?
There's characters like...
You sure? There's a lot of CGI in the movie, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of practical effects, too. I didn't look it up, but... Knowing how a deer could go through a gate like that...
It's practical, man.
Dragon people, and they look like humanoid dragons, and they're just wearing like suits with animatronics in them. There's like feral cat people too, and they again just like animatronics in a suit. It's not crappy cheesy CGI. Is there?
Maybe you should buy the Blu-ray and look at the extra features and see how the movie is made.
Did you?
I personally did it because I don't really care.
You should definitely look at how movies are made.
Yeah, with this one, I don't really care. Like, with the bigger titles, like John Wick 4, I want to go and see how the movie was made. Mission Impossible, stuff like that.
Is there CGI? Yes, there is. Is it well done? Yeah.
No.
I thought the CGI was really well done.
No. The entire internet agreed the CGI was lackluster. All right.
The master hand coming out, it looked like birdseed. That was hilarious.
Yeah. The fucking deer. The
whatever that thing was that turned into a bear.
Like I said, he doesn't watch a lot of movies, so to him this is amazing CGI, so
right.
This movie, when it was in it, it wasn't excessive. It wasn't Marvelized, where it's a million CGI scenes back to back, and half of them are moving so fast you can't tell what's going on. Nothing like that at all. Everything was pretty well done. So, in reality, I was thinking about this the other day. I just recently saw the Super Mario Brothers movie, and here's a direct comparison. The Super Mario Brothers movie, in my opinion, was a movie that just tried to take an IP, slap it into a movie. Take tropes from the IP, let's get Mario Kart in there. Let's get Donkey Kong in there. It doesn't have any meaning. Really. It doesn't feel like there's any character development. It's just a bunch of meaningless action.
It's a Mario movie.
There is character development. Peach, Mario, Luigi.
You kind of know who these people are.
Phil, Dungeons and Dragons did the same thing. They took an IP, they mash it together to make a movie. They have Dungeons and Dragons tropes in it. They even have a campaign style event in the movie where the where Simon just totally fucked that up, like someone would in the Dungeons and Dragons game.
Right. So crazy.
Same shit, Phil.
To say there's a Mario movie, but at the end of the day, it doesn't feel meaningful at all. This is the opposite. This is, we took things from that IP, that intellectual property from Dungeons and Dragons, and we used it to make a fun and meaningful movie that stands alone as a great work,
Meaningful
but knowing that
how?
it's actually part of me.
How is this meaningful, Phil?
Did this movie change our lives?
No, it was a decent 2.5 hours.
It's meaningful to him, meaning it didn't waste his time. Is that what it is?
I think he's just saying it to make the interview or the review sound better.
But he keeps saying a lot, like meaningful time. Meaning, like there's a lot of meaningful things out there, but not everything is meaningful. Doesn't mean it's bad either.
No, and this movie is not really that great to be watched multiple times. You watch it once, you have a good laugh, and that's it.
If you watch it once, once you get to the end, it ties itself up really nicely.
Mainstream Dungeons and Dragons lore is also really cool to know that, this could happen in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. That's sweet. This makes me want to see way more Dungeons and Dragons movies if it could be made in this vein. I want to see more serious Dungeons and Dragons movies. I want to see comedic ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could actually work out because I think there's enough there. It's such a tried and true long run.
They tried making Dungeons and Dragons movies and they all failed. This one was the best one out of all of them. I'm sorry.
That's not saying much.
Yeah.
This one is really good as a Dungeons and Dragons movie, yes.
But not a good epic fantasy movie.
No.
Running RPG franchise for tabletop gaming and fantasy gaming, I think it could work as a movie series too. I was incredibly pleased, and I will honestly tell you, this is one of my favorite movies I've seen in like the last 5 years. Hands down.
Wow.
I liked it that much. I was like,
what?
You didn't watch so many movies, have you, Phil?
No, he hasn't. I want to see him watch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I thought he did.
If he did.
If it's not up yet, I think someone said, Phil, you should watch Everywhere and Everywhere All at Once. It's great. I'm like, I need to watch that too if he does, because he probably will be everywhere and always or whatever all at once.
Yeah, we got to do. Yeah, that would be our next thing. If he did that, I'll have to look it up because that one won the best picture last year.
like, wow, I really enjoyed every moment I watched this movie. So I strongly recommend it if you like fantasy, if you like witty comedy, if you like character development, you like an ensemble cast, you want to laugh, you want to feel emotional, you want to have epic action scenes like, yeah, this is awesome, they're kicking ass. All of that is in the movie. It never misses a beat. I can't believe how good of a movie it is, and that I hadn't heard about more about it. I thought this is the kind of movie
if you haven't heard too much about it, that means it didn't have a decent advertising budget.
And not every movie is going to be great with a budget. Just go out and do your thing.
Yeah. And like I said, you would have known about it if you actually went to the movie theaters.
It's so good. So many people would have...
Or go on YouTube and look at movie trailers, because all the movie trailers are uploaded to YouTube. But he doesn't do it.
That's too much work.
Been talking about
That's too much work.
I've barely heard anything. So definitely give it a watch. If you haven't, I strongly recommend Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Super good movie, and I actually hope that this band of misfits come back for future movies, because I would like to see more capers. I would like to see maybe side stories involving them. I would absolutely love that. Or even more stories set in this universe, maybe with them involved, would be super awesome. So 2 thumbs up from me. One of my favorite movies of recent memory. Super good. Hope that you'll check it out for yourself. And I certainly hope that you enjoyed this review here on DSP Reacts. All right. If you saw the movie, leave comments. Let me know what you thought about it. Do you agree with me? Do you think that maybe I liked it a little too much? But I'm shocked. I'd love to hear why you think more people don't know about this movie.
Even if we did, Phil, you would delete our comments because we're trolls.
Yeah. You don't want to hear from us.
You really don't. That's why we make this.
You would have thought a movie this good would have had more word of mouth. All I heard about for several months was the Super Mario movie, and in my opinion, this movie's 10 times better than that one. I can't wait for more, and I hope they make more. All right? Thank you, everyone, for watching my review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.
Ooh.
He is out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Look,
So,
I'm not... You go.
yeah. So it wasn't as horrendous as the Super Mario Brothers movie review, but like it feels like he's just trying to get under people's skin for clicks.
Exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to clickbait people, trying to tell people like, I'm gonna hate Mario movies, so they'll watch it and go, it's like, it's a fun movie. Like, what do you want?
I
know you wanna
understand opinions are subjective, but like, come on, dude, it's so obvious. Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
Mario movie, this movie. I like this movie better than Raven likes this, more than Raven likes this movie.
Right. I thought the pacing was a little off, but it did tie itself up at the end. I do appreciate that it tied.
Yes.
It had a really nice little ending, and it tied itself up really nicely. But to get there was kind of a slog.
Yeah,
Agreed.
So, like, that's it. Like, I'm glad the movie itself tied itself up, because some movies, when you're, they lose themselves so much in the sauce, by the time they tie up the end, you're like, what happened? At least this movie, I can go, hey, it tied up the end. Everyone lived happily ever after, or something. At least I can appreciate that. That I can appreciate. The end was tied up in a way that I can go like, okay, all right, I don't hate you, but it's just knowing that and getting there was such a pain.
Yeah, so that's our reaction to Phil's review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This will be up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Any last words before we head out?
He's a bitch, and he just wants. He thinks that KO Gaming and these reviews are gonna save his channel. It's like, we're here now, Phil. We're gonna fucking do all these and correct your wrongs, because it's not like back in the day where you used to say something and people were like, we love you, and I'm like, not anymore.
No.
The only thing I have to say is, don't let your dreams be memes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Reality.
All right. We out.